let's talk about it. It was a great movie. See what I did there? Now this is the second adaptation of Stephen King's novel, It. And for those of you that don't know, It is like a giant book, like that thick. There's over 1,000 pages. I've never read it. You know, it's bigger than the Bible. But this is the second adaptation. I have seen the one from the 90s, which is a mini-series. There's part 1, part 2. And I really enjoyed part 1. Part 2 was okay. But there is one thing about the original mini-series. I am not, and I have never been, scared of clowns. And I understand that he is more than just a clown, but in the original one, he looked like just a clown. So the original one didn't scare me. It was creepy, but it didn't scare me. This one did. This is hands down definitely, so far, my favorite horror movie of the year. And this movie wouldn't be as good if the actors weren't good. And I have to give huge props to the young actors in this movie. Congratulations, you guys did amazing. I am a huge Stranger Things fan. Finn Wolfhard was awesome. The rest of them were awesome. I don't know their names, but they were great. You know, you cared about them, and that's what this movie really focuses on. It focuses on the kids, and if you didn't care about the kids, this movie would fall flat, and it didn't. Also, the actor for Pennywise, Bill Skarsgård. Sorry if I mispronounced that. I don't really know. Is it Bill, I don't know. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. He did great. I was worried that he was going to be talking a lot in this movie, you know, because it's more menacing when the villain doesn't talk. Sometimes. And I was worried that this was going to be one of those villains that talked too much. I didn't think he talked enough. His voice, his drool, everything was just creepy. There were even some parts that were just kind of goofy. You know, you would think, like, oh, if that was in another horror movie, it would be too much. No. You know, there'd be scenes where he's literally, like, it looks like he's having a seizure, or he is just, like, twisting all around and stuff, or flinging his arms everywhere. But it worked. It worked. For some reason. In any other horror movie, it wouldn't work, but it worked in this one. I don't know why, but it did. Made it more intimidating, made it more scary, and that's what I loved this movie did so well, is that it scared the shit out of you. If I had to say one thing about this movie that I didn't like, it would be the use of CGI. I think CGI is taking off. Like, it is going to places, you know, the further into the future we get, the more amazing CGI gets. But for me, I don't like CGI in horror movies, because CGI, it's too fake. Sometimes it's amazing, sometimes it's fake. Action movies can use CGI all they want, that's fine. But just horror movies using it, now there wasn't a lot of CGI in this, but there was a good amount. And those scenes, as creepy as they were, and they were scary, it didn't get to me like the other scenes would. I'm not going to do any spoilers in this, but this was in the original, and it was in the trailer. But the scene when Georgie is talking to Pennywise, and Pennywise is in the sewer, and they're just talking, that is one of the creepiest scenes I have ever seen. Because you can just see how human but monstrous he is, because he's talking to Georgie and he just, you know, drool coming down, and you can just see how much of a monster he is, but to a little kid's eyes, he's just a clown, and that's the scary part. And that's what I think the original one didn't really do that well, because you saw a clown. Georgie saw a clown, you saw a clown. Until, you know, he opened his mouth and fangs came out in the original, but until then, you just saw a clown. In this one, you saw a monster. I also loved that this movie was rated R for a reason. There is violence in this movie. That was the scary part, was just the brutalness of this movie. Pennywise gives no shits about little kids' feelings. And the bullies, man, they were violent, you know. Like, if there were bullies like this nowadays, oh my god. it would be insane. Now, there were some things that I wish they would have added. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. Again, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but you know, Bowers, Henry, the kid with the mullet, he's the bully. You know, and he targets them off one by one sometimes. And just there's just a scene where he is picking on the black kid. I forgot his name. Michael, I think. Mike. But I'm just gonna say Mike. I'm pretty sure it's Mike. He's picking on Mike. And I was just like, he has to use the hard R. He has to say the N-word and has to use the hard R, because that would show that, you know, at the beginning of the movie he pulled, he said faggot at the beginning of the movie. You can't get away with that now, but they did it because it takes place in the 80s, and so you didn't care back then. If they said the N-word in this, it would have been so powerful, because you would feel so much hatred, because the time that we are in now, that is such a sensitive word to use, and such sensitive language to use. Speaking of the language, these kids are potty mouths, but I loved it because you know that when you were a kid and you would hang out with your friends behind your parents' back and you would just be cursing up a storm. You know, you would do it just for fun. Like, I remember when I was in elementary school, we would, like, my friends and I would, like, huddle up and be like, shit. You know, that was our thing, and I loved how these kids really showed that you know, with your parents you're just like but with your friends you don't give a flying fuck. So in the end, I really enjoyed this movie. This is one of those horror movies that I can watch over and over and over again, because it is Stand By Me. It is a lot like Stand By Me, which is another Stephen King adaptation. The characters were great. The story was really good. I didn't love this movie. I didn't love it. I really enjoyed it, though. It's definitely up there in horror movies for me. You know, because I'm a big horror guy, but I also hate horror movies. Love horror movies, hate them. I hate the cliche ones, love the good ones. This falls into the good ones, by a landslide. If you haven't seen it already, go see it, enjoy it, appreciate it, and then go see it again. Because I'm probably going to see it again. That's the end of that, and I will see you guys later. Also, if you like my shirt, it says Wonder or Wander, but the O is Oregon, or the A is Oregon, because I live in Oregon. But if you really like the shirt, go to naturallynorth.com. I have some really good friends that created that business on their own. They make these t-shirts themselves, and you can order from them and get a t-shirt like this and many others. So go check them out, because they are some amazing people. And I'm not sponsored. They are not paying me for this. I asked them if I could do it, because I was wearing this shirt and I was just like, I want to go make a video. So yeah, go check it out. I'll put a link down below. Right. Okay, bye. Bye.